Hey guys, now in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can take this and turn it into this with the xTool F1 Ultra Laser Engraver. And by the way, we are celebrating xTool's 4th year anniversary, and this giveaway is sponsored by them. Now, I'm going to show you how you can take a normal tumbler, right? Something that is a $20, sub $20 tumbler, create a wrap like this, and you can see how this looks. This looks absolutely fantastic, and turn it into something that you can use to power your small business. A wrap like this could go anywhere from $40 to $50, and I'm going to show you how you could do it step by step with the xTool F1 Ultra. More importantly, I'm going to be giving these away, so all you need to do to participate is to tell me which one of the two styles that you see you vote for and prefer, and xTool was nice enough to get these out. Let's go ahead and check it out. Hey guys, interrupting this video to give you details on how you can participate in this fantastic giveaway. Now, xTool is celebrating their 4th year anniversary, and they provided us with the tumblers that you are able to enter to win. Now, we did all the engraving, and remember, we have 2 types of tumblers. You have the spooky tumbler, or you have the inspirational tumbler. Make sure that you let me know in the description area below which one you'd like to win. Now, in addition to that, I've provided you a link where you would be able to put in your entry for this giveaway. Don't forget, xTool has fantastic discounts right now on all of their products. They're also in the link. Check them out because there's no better time to get a laser and start your small business. Now, entries will be accepted between 9/22 and 9/28. On the 29th, I'll be selecting those that have won the tumbler, and I'll be announcing it both on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. You'll have 2 days to respond. Now back to the video. Now with xTool's anniversary sale, there has never been a better time to take advantage of discounts. We're talking about up to 58% discounts on a variety of products that they have. And as you heard, I'm going to share with you how you can make a tumbler like this. Literally, they have a variety of different tumblers that you can have various colors, but then also various finishes. As you can see this one with a gold finish, that when it engraves, the actual finish is also gold, which you're not going to see in many places. There's iridescent, there's black, there's white, there's pink, there's orange, there's green, there's all these different colors that you can choose from. Now, one of the things that could be incredibly intimidating when creating a wrap like this is, first of all, how do you get beyond the handle as it's rotating on your laser? And the cool thing about this is that xTool has designed their tumblers so that they have removable handles. Check that out. So what you have right here are the handles have screws that come off, and when they come off, you could put this in your laser for engraving. You don't have to worry about it. What makes it so cool is that when you do that, and we're going to shift to my overhead shot, you actually get a wrap that almost goes right into the actual I'd say body of the handle. So here's your handle, and you can see how close my wrap goes. And I'll rotate it this way so you can see how it goes in. And this, a product like this to engrave, depending on, again, the finish that you're looking for, this took a little bit over an hour to complete on the F1 Ultra. So I'm going to show you how you can create a wrap, right? Align all your graphics, how to use your F1 Ultra to actually create this product. And you're going to see that this is incredibly easy. It is intimidating. I have to say, when you first look at something like this, you go like, wow, how do you do it? But this is easy to do. It is also, if you are running a small business and want to offer this as a service, it is also something that is very, very profitable. And it doesn't take a lot of time. Now I have 2 tumblers that we are going to be giving away. One of them has a spooky theme, and the other one has a motivational theme. So let's take a look at the spooky tumbler first. I'm going to move all these tumblers out of the way because I have a lot of them, and just want to show you what the spooky one looks like. So the spooky one has, for obviously the Halloween that's coming up around the corner, has bats, has ghosts, has some flowers, and has some fun spookiness going on. And you can see that it goes all the way around the wrap, right? And for this one, I purposely left the handle off so you can see how close and how even you could get into the handle area. So as you put the handle here, obviously this little seam that you see here disappears, but the power of having something like this where you can actually move the handle gives you full surface to engrave. I love the way this looks. So this is our spooky tumbler. Then the other tumbler that I have here is a motivational tumbler. And the motivational tumbler is also one of my favorite tumblers. And this one it's full of inspiration, right? So if you're looking to be inspired, it has all these inspirational quotes that, let's face it, nowadays all of us would like to have some form of inspiration. And we also need some Zen. So I love here that we have this little yoga kind of, keeping cool and keeping things going, having some positive energy, and starting your day with the right focus. So this one you can see right here has some really, really nice messaging on it. And this is one of the other tumblers that we have made. So let us know which one do you think is the coolest. So let's go ahead and get to the XCS software and see how we make a wrap like this. Now let me show you how you set up your Rotary in order to be able to get the best engrave. One of the things that's critically important when using the Rotary is making sure that your tumbler is level. That's going to ensure that your engravings come out nice and clean. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove it from here because I just wanted to show you what our goal is. And pretty much it is to get our tumbler in place, have it leveled. You'll have one of these guys where you'll be able to put right there, and you're looking to have that bubble to be level, just like you see right there. And you'll use this support, you'll see this in a second, that basically ensures that the actual tumbler, as it's rotating, it doesn't slip in any way and come down. So some people choose not to use it. I use it as a safety precaution just to make sure that I have that support so that I have really good rotation and nothing really messes up. The worst thing you can have happen is to go into 30 minutes, 45 minutes of an engrave, and then for there to be a slip. This really prevents that from happening. The other thing that you see right here is I have a jig that is kind of holding the actual RA2 in place and allows me to move it forward and back really freely. And one of the key things that you'll want to make sure is you have is things in focus. So let me just show you that piece, and then I'm going to show you how you add or connect things together. So if I move this down, you notice my blue dot is all the way over here. I'm going to go ahead and raise the laser, and you'll notice that as I'm doing this, the two dots right here are going to be coming together. And we'll focus that in a couple seconds. So I'm just raising the laser until the blue and the actual red dot are together. Now you could use the XCS software to do this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them together. And what you may want to do or may need to do is move this forward because we want to make sure that we can engrave this as well. So your laser, the lasered area, needs to be under the green shield. Notice where I'm putting my hand right here. So you want to make sure that it's by the green shield in order for this area to be engraved. And I also don't want the bottom here to go beyond the plate. I still have some space. So all I'm going to be doing is just moving this forward like this, right? Making sure that I keep this aligned. So I'm going to tighten my jig so that it's nice and straight. And I'm going to bring this over. Now you can see those little two dots there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to raise until I have my focus. And now the dots are 1. So that is the focus area. And you can see how I have things positioned. So what I'm also going to do is I am going to be running a frame. And what the frame will do is it's going to show me with a line the actual engraved area, because I do want it to come as close as I can to the bottom here. And I also want it to come as close to the top here as possible to get that really nice wrap setting. Now, the cool thing about this, if you're doing like a dozen of these, once you have this set up, it's pretty much just loosening the chuck and putting the next one in, loosening the chuck and putting the next one in, and then double tapping your actual engrave button. So let me go ahead and take this off, and I'll show you how I put this on again. Now, one of the things that I also did is I created a little shield here. And I made this because I find that as I'm inserting the cup, that at times I struggled with the cup going in angles. That was like driving me crazy. So I created this shield that kind of creates like a stopper that makes sure that as I put this in, it's always going to be flush. Now you'll notice over here, this is the lift that I'm using, and it has 2 rollers, and you can adjust it at the very top here so that the actual tumbler has some support. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here like this, and then I'm going to turn this so that it tightens. Now, the cool thing is, because the bottom of this, or this stopper right here is flush, the bottom of the cup, all the way around of the cup, is pretty much leveled automatically. So I've tightened that now, And what I'm going to do is now, you'll notice how it kind of tilted a little bit. So what I'm going to be doing is raising the actual cup holder a little bit so that I can make sure that there's no tilt. Because when you want this rotating, you don't want this shifting. You can see how it shifts right there. That's bad. All right, so now with some slight adjustment, I went ahead and made sure that everything was level. I straightened the cup. I made sure that the jig was aligned. And now I'm going to basically rotate. And I want you to see how, as I'm rotating this, the cup is leveled. This is kind of like one of the checks. Now, I know that I've already done a level check, and all I was doing is making sure that there was no wobble. You don't want to have any wobble at all. So what I'm doing here is just rotating this to see if there's any wobble. And all my start points for me is I like starting right here underneath the handle. I personally choose to go with this area because it's the easiest place to hide mistakes. If I were to put, let's say, the seam, or where it ends or begins in the middle, I find that at times I can mess that up. So I've been doing it this way, and it's just my preference of doing it. You could choose whichever one you're comfortable with, and it's also going to be based on what you're going to be engraving. Now, as you're using this, what I typically do is I'll bring my shield down slightly. And what I like about bringing my shield down is that my shield is also going to give me a sense of where the engraving is going to begin and end. So if you notice right here, the shield is coming right by the material, the metal, the gold color right here, or it's coming, and it's also coming towards the end of the cup right here. So I can see where or how far my engrave is going to be. So if I wanted to, let's say, for example, get a little bit more of the top, all I have to do is move the cup a little bit forward like this. Right, and I'll do that just a little bit more because I want to make sure that, and yeah, I feel more comfortable with that right there. You'll notice that right here, it's kind of like I'm right there, and I'm going to move the camera angle in a second so you can see it. This is kind of like where I want it to be because I want it to cover as much as I can of the top. Now, I won't go all the way up to the gold part. I'm going to give myself a little space there, but this is a really good look for me. Let's take a look at a different angle. Now, in this angle, you can see very clearly how the shield is just on the gold surface there, which means that I can engrave, you see where my finger is up to that point, and over here you'll notice how close I can get over here as well. So this is going to give me a really good wrap, and you'll notice that I am in focus. So now I'm going to go back to the XCS software, and in the XCS software is where I'm going to look at how things are set up. I'll show you how I set up the actual wrap, and then what we'll do is we'll do a frame and we'll run an engrave. All right, so let's take a look at how you're going to set things up in the XCS software, and it's really easy to use. And the best part about the software is that it's free. So what we're going to do here is a couple things. I'm going to go into this area, and I'm actually going to switch to another tab. I have one of my tabs has the project set up, and in this area we're going to play with it, so we're going to see how the settings are. So first of all, you have a couple of options here. With the laser, you actually can engrave on a flat surface. You can do on a roller, and we're not using the rotary in this case, or this roller. And then you have a chuck model. We're using the chuck model. We're using the chuck because the item that we're engraving doesn't have the same dimension from top to bottom. You notice that the 40-ounce tumbler has a wider area here, and then it has a thinner area here. So we're using the chuck for that because this wouldn't work. But there's a variety of other choices you have. You can use this conveyor belt, which is fantastic and amazing. You can also then do a curved material. And I've used the curved material. It doesn't just work this way, but it also works if you're looking at the material like this, like if you think about your cup. But it's not going to do a full wrap. So if I'm just doing a front-facing logo, I would use the curved material to make sure I get a nice clean engraving. So here what you're going to choose is you're going to choose the rotary. And then once you choose your rotary, you're going to have to identify what your diameter is. Now, your diameter for this specific one, and I'll give you my settings that you can use if you're picking up the xTool actual, I would say, tumblers, is 84.13, right? That's what I have set mine as. And you have two choices. You can set a diameter or perimeter. So my perimeter, right, and you can see, my diameter that I'm choosing is 84.13. And that, for me, allows the rotation to basically go into that seam because that's what I want. So that's my choice. You can modify this to be able to get what you'd like. Now we'll go back to this one that we're playing with. Now you'll also notice here that there is this line. This line represents the start point of your engrave. You cannot have anything above it. You can only have things beneath it, right? And what you could do is you want to make sure that this basically covers this entire area, right? And when you look at the dimensions that you're putting in for your rotation or for your perimeter, your diameter, combined with these images is, pretty much what you're going to get. Now, what you're going to notice with my wrap is that I've extended it so that I could get really close to the edges because I don't want this much of a gap. So that's the first thing you're going to notice. The other thing is that you see that I have different colors going on here. And I just did this just because I wanted to see the different settings that I can play with, but typically you could have everything in one color. And as you'll see here, I have various layers that I can work with. I have text layers, and then I have this graphic layer. And for those of you who are not familiar with xTool, you basically have all this area here, which is going to give you the ability to work with your layers. You also then have canvases, right? So I'm going to disappear this for a second, and I'm going to bring up the canvas. And the canvas area is a great place where if you have a file that you've already configured for a specific cup type, where you can have different cup designs and just work in that area. And you're going to see how I did that in mine. So what I did was I have one for my motivational, one for my spooky in the same file in a different canvas, right? And then what you have is once you have these things set up, what then you also then have is your engraving settings, right? So when you choose things, you'll notice over here, you're going to see your engrave settings. And if you're using a blue light laser or if you're using the fiber laser to do your engrave. And I'm going to share with you what my settings are once we take a look at this. All right, so now let me show you what my production version or my production tab looks like, where I have the tumbler, everything set up. You'll notice that I have multiple wraps that I've created. I have this one that's super spooky. And then I have this other one right here that has jack-o'-lantern view. And I have my motivational one that I have right here. Now, as you saw earlier, when we were looking at this one here, you'll notice that I did not have the graphics reaching every corner. But you see here that it's full, right? Top to bottom, everything is complete. It's full. So I stretched it out, and it also comes all the way to the bottom here because that's what I'm looking to work with. Now, the other thing that you'll notice is that I have it right underneath this line. Now, one of the things I'll do here is so I can get a sense of where the graphics are is I'm going to refresh the camera so I can see where the cup is. And here I have the cup, and I see where I'm going to be engraving. You can see how this is going to be a really nice full wrap. Now, one of the things I can do is I could possibly move the cup further down to get more of this area coming up here. But I'm going to do a frame just to see where that line lines up. Or I could leave it as is. You'll also notice, I'm going to click on this graphic, what my settings are. I'm using blue light, 70 power, 400 speed, which is the max when you're doing a rotation, and I'm using 300 lines per centimeter. And this is the key. There's really nothing else that you have to do. This is really simple. And if you wanted to create a wrap like this, and you notice all these, in this case, this wrap, this is just a series of words. All you have to do is either type words or purchase graphics, and then just put them in a way that it makes sense to you, and you can create your wrap. That's all that we're doing here. And then choosing the setting, blue light, 70, speed, I have it maxed, pass 1, lines per centimeter 300, and then I would hit print. Now, or in this case, go to process. Let's go ahead and frame it and see what it looks like. Now, when you hit frame, and we're going to go ahead and do that, what will start happening is you're going to see the rotation will begin. And you can see how it's starting to rotate. And then what you start seeing is that line. You see that line? So this is how far the frame of the action engrave is going to go. It's going to come all the way up to here, right beneath my rim. And then you'll notice over here how it comes all the way almost to the bottom. This is how I like to do the wrap. It's going to continue to do the wrap, and you're going to see how it's going to come back to where the handle is. You could choose to have it do in the front. I kind of like doing it by the seam, and you're going to see that it's going to come up to this point, and it's done. That's what that setting is for, and that's how I have it set up. So guys, which of the two tumbler styles are you going to vote for? Are you going to vote for the inspirational tumbler, or are you going to vote for the spooky tumbler? Make sure you put your comments in the comment area below, and let's see which one of you are able to take either the inspirational or the spooky. See you in the next video.